Hello to the chicos, hello to the chicas, hello to students, because this is my students rock, and today we are going to come at you with some boomski attacking chess. I'm already very hyped up and excited about it, so without any further ado, let's jump into it. In the white trunks, my student Mr. One More. Mr. One More has transitioned into a far more aggressive repertoire than what he used to play, and the very important and integral part of this repertoire is the open Sicilian, which I suppose hardly comes to you as a surprise, considering the fact that I have made the why should you play the Sicilian videos. Now, even within his Sicilian variations, though, we've tweaked it and fine-tuned it a little bit, because previously we experimented with the English attack, and it didn't quite suit, I think, his style, so we switched over to bishop g5, and it's now beginning to yield the results. So in this particular game, though, the opening was forgotten, but this is actually a textbook example of how super important it is to have the right mentality and to understand what you are playing for, rather than remembering exact lines. Because here student is going to forget his lines and yet deliver an absolute banger of a game. By the way, this is a 45-45 league, so this is also a shout out to the Lead Chess 45-45 league. A lot of my students play in it, and especially if you are still in an area of the world, quite a large chunk of it is still affected with COVID lockdowns, I think that it's a great idea to participate in these longer time control league games. Anyway, f5, knight c5 was played. I really don't like this variation for black at all. As a knight of player with both black and white, this would be the last line I would play against the bishop g5 main variations. It is just cruising for bruising. And actually, in this position after bishop f8, it was Béla Perényi, the Hungarian genius, who came up with this sacrificial idea of rook g1, rook g7, which is featured even in some a3 main lines, which is also a very common move here to stop black's counterplay on the queen side before we start sacking every single piece that is left on the board. Now, unfortunately, here student forgot the discuss theory. We had a look at both of these and played bishop h3. It's not a terrible move, okay? So it's not a blunder. It's not something that doesn't make any sense. And this is what I like, that he has seen a lot of games where this move was featured. Obviously, if the bishop goes this way and king castles this way, if at all, then we can jump in knight d5. Potentially knight d5 ideas are abound anyway. So here he actually did not play knight d5. And although knight d5 is best here, it doesn't lead to a clear advantage. It's a bit of a heartache for me, because I believe that it's very difficult to hold these positions. Even if there are a few easy moves to play, after bishop takes h3, I think check is already a valid move. Takes is also valid with knight c6 incoming and then check. It's a tricky business for black to stay afloat, but in the end, Mr. One More decided to pull the knight back. Again, not a very pretty move, but boy, from here on out, oh man, it's sometimes it's really tremendously awesome to be a chess coach, man, because when games like this come your way, you just go like, oh yeah, that's my boy. And look at this. So he goes knight g3. Obviously had to defend the pawn on e4, and black goes like, oh baby, d5, and I am going to explode the board in your face, long diagonal, exchange, yada 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 yada, except that you are not really meant to blow up the position when you have got a piece and a half developed and your king is stuck in the middle and all of your opponent's pieces are operational, because that's when the boomski comes, baby. The boomski. That is a sacrifice and a half, ladies and gentlemen. That is something I would be immensely proud of. That knight is sacrificed on a square where it could be captured by 3 pieces. In Hungarian, you show 3 like this. In English-speaking countries like this. In Asian countries like this. But either way, the 3 is guaranteed, man, and all of them are losing. So let's suss out what's happening exactly. Bishop takes queen a8, and thank you for coming. Knight e6, queen d5 on your bike. And last but not least, f takes e6 as per game. And boomshki number 2, rook take Reno on d5. Now this is, ladies and gentlemen, why I always preach play the Sicilian. Because to play a game like this will obviously first and foremost put you in my student's rock, and that's a life goal in itself, a bucket list item to say the very least. And also you can show this game for the rest of your life to all your mates, your friends, your grandchildren, and it's just a never-ending joy to have a game like this. So I'm so happy for this game. Take, check. And it is just carnage. It's time to put the pieces back in the box, because that's the very least that's going to happen to black. Everything on top of that is just going to be additional damage. The opponent played knight e4, sorry. We took it. Not really the best move according to the engine, but I can't really and don't want to blame student for this move. What he admittedly overlooked was that after at any given point after check, black can actually castle. And then things are still a little bit messy. So best here is to actually counter check the check. And then there is no castling, and white is still comfortably winning. That being said, opponent collapsed after knight e4 by playing king d8, and then we chucked in knight g5, and in the crossfire of the various threats provided by the awesomely developed white pieces, black positions just collapsed, and yeah, he went on to lose. Now, in order to remember this opening a little bit better and to get his head around the motives a little bit better, I recommended the student look up the line. And one of the best things you can do in such cases is to look up the line through a master game, which you can find here on the Lichess platform. So if you click the book icon at the bottom, which is what I did, which is now not on the screen, but I will try to put it on the screen for you just a second, so that those who potentially wouldn't know will know. So when you press this book icon here, it's going to show you all the master games that were played for the position. And I clicked that, I think, about here, because I told him that this rook g1, rook g7 plan is the one that I want him to go for. So it's worth clicking the book icon now. And right now we are looking at the game Lima Darcy, who I think is a Brazilian or Peruvian GM, against Morovich Fernandez, who is a Japanese, who is a Spanish GM. And look at this game, and now I will go back to the regular analysis board. Bishop h3, b4, bang. This is what we always do. So as you can see, student got bishop h3 spot on, absolutely spot on. ed5, ed5, knight d7 back. This move is played to shield the king so that castles could be played, or at least the king can walk. Because right now, if it was my turn again, then the king would get stuck here very, very quickly, and all kinds of filthy threats would make black's life rather miserable. Did we have any games for this? No, only the one that we are looking at. So yeah, according to the engine, white here is already comfortably winning, +4, with a piece down and a rook hanging. That is just insane. So the idea is, if king d8, I just go here, and that's just so that we can just wrap our head around what's threatening. If h4, then we play queen e3 with the idea of mate. And it's just a very, very difficult motif or threat to stop. Oh my god, you won't believe this, guys. According to the engine, the best move here is king d1. I kid you not. I swear it is the best move here. But why? There must be some knight d3 check shenanigans at some point. I don't want to explode this now because I wanted to show you the game. So the game went knight d7, bishop takes, queen takes, and knight c6. And you would think that, why are we trading all our pieces? But the point is that we are actually trading off all black's best defenders, after which the king is going to be remarkably exposed. Takes, sorry, my bad, check, takes. Now they have to go here to stop the c7 discovery. Queen e4, mate in one threat. Take, and black resigned. Yep, you heard that right. And you go like, but why? Well, hang on a second. What's with rook g8? Queen h7 and g to the g. The worst part of it is that it's not regaining the rook. No, it's mate. That's the trickery. So this is the game that, or rather, this is the idea and the line, the variation that I recommended Mr. One More to look up. And then next time round, when he plays again a game in this Najdorf, then he will have no trouble. But one more time, let's have a look at his masterpiece, because boy, this knight e6 is just like, oh, so scrumptious. Yummy. Give it to papa, give it to papa. Take, beauty. Absolutely shredding the opponent apart. Like, this is the type of chess that I'm dreaming that my students, not that they play, because it's not reasonable to expect that you play a game like this every time. That's totally impossible, in fact. But what I want my students to do is to aspire to play a game like this. That this is what we idolize, that we develop, we ignore material, and we just go for the kill like there was no tomorrow. This is the ultimate chess for me. And in this regard, you can clearly see that my own idols clearly are the likes of Alekhine, and then continuing the Alekhine school, Kasparov, who very much played chess in the exact same spirit. Very aggressive, very attacking, bang, 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 boomski chess. So, kudos to Mr. One More. I actually wanted to sneak in another game into this video, but whilst I was recording, I decided against it, because the two games that were sent to me, actually this wasn't sent to me, the other one was, they are both so good that I want to allow both of them. Allow is not necessarily the best word here, but I want you to just simply reward them by being in the video on their own right, instead of me bringing them together. This way I also save content, but that's, you didn't hear that. So yeah, that was it. So congratulations to Mr. One More for this absolutely fabulous and very flashy victory over a marginally higher rated player too, by the way. 2106 against 2111, so 5 rating points higher. Excellent game, very good stuff. Keep up the good work, Mr. One More, and thank you guys for tuning in. I will be back with more soon. Cheerio. Bye.